Okay, now we're getting into the fun stuff. Features for multiplying. And you should have seen on the bottom of page 35 that it says see instructor regarding the use of the K key. In Unit 6 we worked with a constant, but that was for adding and subtracting. And we used what key then? We used the memory key, right. So in this chapter or unit we're going to be using a feature on the calculator. It's the K key, K for constant. I know constant starts with C, but the calculator has a K there. So what we're going to be doing, and if you look at the problem here, we have 256 times 12, 18, 35. The nice thing about the constant key is when you have that constant key turned on, it takes that first number that you put in and that number is held as the constant. So you don't have to keep putting in your 256 times again and again and again. It just holds it there. So you're going to use it that way for this problem. Up here, we've got 185 times 56. Multiplication's not fussy, so you're going to switch those around and you're going to put 56 in first. The bottom left-hand side here, if you can see this, it's the same thing as the top. You're using that same number as your constant, and you're going to be using it a few different times. So let's switch over to the calculator now, and I'll show you how it works. So for the first problem, we don't need to have our decimal selector on 2. We're going to put it on 0. And over here, that's where we're going to turn on our constant key. Okay? So we'll put in 256 times, and as soon as you hit that times key, the calculator knows that's our constant. 12. I do not have to put in the 256 again, so I'll put in 18, and then 35 is the last one. And if you look at the tape, which I'll take out for you, I can show you where it says K, so that means that 12 got multiplied by our constant. That 18 got multiplied by the constant, and so did the 35. So it's a really time-saving method to try to use and master. We'll be using it a little bit more on the next page, and so let's go ahead and switch back to our paper, but we're going to pause for a second because I want you to take a second or two and practice these problems before we go to page 36. Okay, so if you're back again, that means you've already practiced those problems I asked you to do using the K key. We're going to go over a couple of things before I start on the big problem I asked you to come and see me about here. One of them is when you're accumulating your totals for multiplication, it's pretty easy to do. Say in this case here, you'll have 54 times 1.95, and instead of hitting equals, you can hit memory plus for each of these, and then at the bottom you'll hit, of course, memory total. Now if you were to hit the equal key on each of these, then you're going to hit grand total to get this very last total here. Oh, but wait, there's a -8. Ooh, how do we do that -8? There's a feature when we go back over to the calculator that I'll tell you how to use, and it's a pretty cool feature. But right now I'm really excited to show you this other feature. We're going to work on this part up here. It's called dual accumulation. Dual. What does that mean to you? Dual. 2, right? So we're going to accumulate 2 totals working on this problem at the same time. But we're going to use some keys that we've already used before. We're going to use our K key. We're going to use the grand total key. Remember I told you to practice grand total and memory key? We're going to use all 3 of those features together right now. So always look at your problem to see how can I make this easier for myself. So if we look at this problem here, we've got the quantity of 35 items. We're going to pay $6 for them, and we're going to sell them for $9. We'll do that over and over again, and we want to gather 2 totals at the end. So our quantity is going to be using the K. We're going to hit 35 times 6, and after we hit the 6, you're going to hit that equals key. You'll get 210. Then you'll just put in 9 and you're going to hit plus I. So by doing that, that answer is automatically going to go into your memory total. Okay? Whoops, I make a little star there. So let's go ahead and mark this up really quick, and you should do this on your sheet too, so it makes it easier for you to kind of follow along. So we'll have 10 times 7.5 equals 11.95 plus I. 18 times 4.6 equals, and 7.75 plus I. All of these are going to go into your grand total. All of these are going to go into your memory total. Let's go over to the calculator so I can show you how this works. So back at our calculator, we're going to make sure we have our K on, we have our grand total on, we have this set to 2 decimal places, and I always like to make sure everything's clear. So I'm going to hit clear, clear, clear. I like to see all those zeros up there before I start my problem. So we're going to take 35 times 6 equals. And as you can see, it went into grand total. I'm going to put 9 into my memory. And the answer is 315 because why? The K multiplied itself times, that 9 multiplied itself times the 35, which is our constant. Okay, so now we're going to change the constant to 10. 10 times 7.5 equals 11.95 memory plus. Second line's done. Last line, 18 times 4.6 equals, and 7.75 memory plus. At the very end, we're going to hit grand total. It's going to give us the total for the total cost. And star I, or memory total, is going to give us the total for our retail. And it came out perfectly. So what I would like you to do right now is put this on pause and go back and do the dual accumulation problems yourself twice, and then work on problems 13 through 22 twice. Oh, and I forgot, I was going to show you one other thing. When we're working with negative numbers for multiplying or dividing, you can put in, I'm going to turn off constant key right now so it doesn't mess anything up. So say I'm going to multiply something by a negative 8. I put the 8 in and I make it negative by hitting this key right here. See what it did? And then I'll just go times 6.52 and we have our answer. So that's it. Let's go ahead and pause right now and work on those problems. Okay, I just want to make sure you understand how to use this dual accumulation. So guess what? You've got another project to work with. So right now, again, like I was telling you before, you always want to look for a problem where you can figure out how to use your new features that you have. If we look at this problem here, we've got Monday and Tuesday both have the same cost of tickets. So guess what? We're going to use our 350 as our constant key, right? It's the same number. We'll put in 350 and then we're going to multiply it times 77. We'll hit the equals. 97 plus I. 58 equals 44 plus I. Equals 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 plus I. We're going to end up hitting our grand total here. It'll give us the total revenue and our memory total over here. And boom, we've got 2 problems done. You can do the same thing for the 450, but when you get over here, this one's 450, that one's 550. So you'll have to do single ones on that. And you can either choose to use grand total or memory for that. So let's switch back over to the calculator now and we'll demonstrate how that works. Again, make sure you've got the set on 2. We're talking money here. You always want to have it on 2 when we're working with money. You've got your K on, your grand total on, This is turned off. Remember, from now on, you're going to be putting that decimal point in yourself. So we're going to total everything out. And we're going to start the problem. Like I was saying, we have 350 as our constant times 77 equals 97 memory plus. 58 equals 44 memory plus. 72 equals 71 memory plus. 89, 73 memory plus. 46 equals 39 memory plus. 106 equals 131 memory plus. 64 equals 82 memory plus. We've got our grand total for Monday, and we have our total for Tuesday. And you're just going to do that for the rest of the sheet. And don't forget, you're going to have to add up all the ticket totals. At the very bottom of that sheet, you're going to look at it and it's going to say day total. That day total is going to be the accumulation of the matinee totals and the evening totals.